Okay. Hello everyone, this is Aravinda Nanda is going to present today's topic is IT applications. This is of unit 4 maybe, yes it may be unit 4, IT applications. So, we are in the stage of information technology. Nowadays, there is a rapid development of technology today's life. There is a huge application of IT in various fields like your banking system, agriculture, business, everywhere, whatever you go, engineering, everywhere you go, there is a huge application of IT. So, information technology day to day, it is the new technologies added and previous one is that is suppose I am considering about talk about the mobile technology. In day to day life a new technology is coming. The students are basically acquainted with the mobile phones. You know about 3G, 4G, 5G is now coming in the market. So 4G is in still we are using 4G technology in mobile phones. Now what are the concepts present in 3G that is also present in 4G. Besides that some new concept is added in new technology, that means in 4G that is not available in 3G. That means the data speed, obviously the data speed is faster in 4G as compared to 3G. Similarly, if 5G is coming, some new extra facilities will be added with 4G that will more beneficial for us. So, the first concept I will discuss about e-governance. E-governance is the first application of IT. So, what is e-governance? Before discussing this concept, I will talk about the basic structure of e-governance. What are the points I will discuss about e-governance? The first point is introduction about e-governance. First introduction. Second one is what is the definition, how to define the e-governance. Definition. Then third one, what is the benefit? Benefit to citizen. Benefits to citizen. And the fourth point is its social impact or its website, whatever maybe you can say. What are the websites? Its websites. What are the e-governance websites and social impacts? Social impact. And the last point is your e-governance challenges. E-governance challenges. E-governance challenges. So these are the basic points I will discuss about e-governance. The first point is introduction. Introduction about e-governance. So before coming e-governance, e-governance is one of the application of ICT. ICT means information communication technology. Information communication technology. So basically we can send our information from one location to another location through internet. Okay. So obviously suppose I am a sender, there is some receiver may not be present here, maybe somewhere, maybe in large distance, maybe in USA or any other countries, or maybe a short distance, maybe within 5 kilometer or 10 kilometer, it may be 1000 kilometer distance maybe. So the sender send a message or information, the message will be transmitted through communication medium. So from sender machine to receiver machine, obviously the communication medium will be there. Without communication medium, the information should not be transmitted. There must be sender machine and receiver machines. It may be a computer, or by using a mobile phone, so you can send the message. The communication medium may be a cable. If it is a short distance, you are using the cables. If it is a long distance, you are using the satellite maybe, or wireless communication maybe. So the sender send the information, the receiver will receive the information. So this is the application of ICT, information and communication technology. So obviously the information will be transmitted and there is a communication between the sender and the receiver. So those who send is the sender, those who receive the information is the receiver. So how to define e-governance? Basically, e-governance is one of the application of ICT, information and communication technology. So it is a how to define e-governance, or e-governance means electronic governance. E means electronics. What is E? E means electronics. Electronics governance. Electronic governance, or in short form you can say e-governance. So what is a e-governance? E-governance is the application of ICT, information and communication technology, or application of information and communication technology for delivering government services. So it is one of the application. So e-governance is the application of ICT. What is the basic objective of e-governance? So what are the service provided by the government that will be delivered or to send? Okay, so it is an application of ICT that delivering, or that is exchange information or delivering government services. So first, e-governance is the application of ICT. What is the basic objective of e-governance? So provide the service. What service? That is the government service, delivering government service. Delivering government service. It will deliver government service. Okay. So government service it will deliver in the form of informations. So it is an application of ICT and for delivering government services and exchange information. Exchange information. So how to define e-governance? So e-governance in the full form of e-governance is electronic governance. Governance means government. You think that governance means what? Government. So it is e-governance is the application of ICT, and that is, or you can say for delivering, it is application of ICT for delivering government services. What it will that is deliver? It will deliver the government service. Okay. So what the government will provide to different client maybe, or government to government maybe, or a government to employee maybe. So what are the service provided by the government or delivered by the government in the form of information and communication? Okay. So information must be communicated to government maybe, or government to business maybe, or government to employee, or you can say that is employee maybe. Okay. So that in very short form, E is the electronics. Electronics means by using electronic medium or electronic instrument. That means by using computer, by using electronic software, hardware, everything, okay, or communication medium maybe. So, by electronic system, how we can exchange the government message or government service between the customer or between or government to government or between government to business maybe or government to employees maybe. So, this concept is called e-governance. E means electronic, governance means government. So, it is clear. So, what is that? E-governance is one of the application. What application? Application of what? Information and communication technology. For delivering what it deliver? It deliver the government service. For service provided by the government to the citizen of the country or to another organization maybe, government to government maybe, or government to employee maybe, or government to business maybe. What are the service provided by the government in the form of information? So, that will be delivered through e-governance, obviously by using in the form of information and communication. So, we can classify or different ways you can define, it is defined in different ways. The model, the government will provide the service to different, so it will classify like this. E-governance you can classify like this, that is G2C, government to customer or citizen maybe. So, you can classify as G2C to G to G, G to G. Next it is G to B, G to B. Then is G to E. So, you can classify also of different types, but basically these are 4 important types of the communications. Sender, receiver. 2, this is 2. In a numerical form I am written 2, that means this is 2, that is written as government to citizen. G means government to citizen. So, this is written as G, this 2 is written as 2, and C means this is C, government to citizen. G to G means government to government, government to government. Government to government is G to G. Then G to B, G to B is what? G to B is government, G for government to business. Then G to E, G to E means G means government to E means employees, government to employees. Okay, so that means from government to citizen. So, government will provide service to the citizen. Similarly, here government provide to the service to another government organization. So, government will provide service to business organization, or government will provide service to the different employees. So, you can classify the total service is classified of different types. Either it may be government to citizen. What are the citizen will get service from the government? What type of service the citizen will get from government? So, that information will transmit from government to citizen. Similarly, one government organization will receive the information from another organization. So, government to government. If the information will be transmitted or exchanged or communicated between the government to government, so it is called G to G. Next one is G to B. G to B means for the business organization or business companies, maybe you can say any company or private company maybe. What are the rules and regulations service provided by the government for the business organization or maybe private organization maybe, that is called government to business. Similarly, government to employee. Employee means employee is the receiver, government is the sender, the service provided by the government for the employees. That information communication between the government and employees is the G to E. So, you can classify the services classify of different types G to C, G to G, G to B and G to E, like that manners. Then next concept is what are the benefits? Is there any benefits to citizen? What are the benefits? Benefit to citizens. The next point is benefit to citizen. How the e-governance will be benefit to the citizen of the countries or maybe India. So, in which way the e-governance will helpful for us? So, basically it is a trust between the government and the citizen. It helps to build. The first point is it helps, the e-governance will helps. It helps to build trust between the government and citizen. Obviously, so without trust, so that is the communication is not possible. So obviously we must trust the government. The citizen must be trust the government. Okay. So building the trust between the government and citizen is fundamental. It is a fundamental principle to good governance. If the when a governance is said to be good if the people trust it or obey it. If you should not trust the government, so you cannot say the governance is a good governance. So good governance means one of the characteristics of good governance means the citizen of the country must trust it, means faith upon this governance. This is the first point. And next point is e-governance is to offer a variety of ICT service. Obviously, as I told, it will provide the ICT service, internet communication service to citizen in an efficient and economical manner. Economical, when I am talking about economical, there is a related to cost. That means the cost will be less. Okay. So electronic governance is offer variety of ICT service, electronic communication and transmission service to citizen. The information will be transmitted and in a efficient and economical manners. Okay. So obviously there is a economical, when you can say economical, that means the cost will be reduced as compared to the previous system. So think about the previous system when there is no e-governance. E-governance means everything is performed through electronic medium. So very simple concept. Think about a simple concept. Let it be from today's date, it is 2020. Think about 20 years back, let it be 2000. So nowadays everything is computerized. Through mobile phones or through computers, by using the internet we can perform everything online. But think about before 20 years, let it be 2000, there is no online concept is there. So everything is performed through manually. Very simple concept. Suppose I will say, suppose a child is born, if you want to take the birth certificate of that particular child, so you go to your the office where in your city where the office is located. The rural people also coming to long distance to the cities to get there or headquarters of their district office and then apply and take a form from the office and they stand in a queue. So there is a huge, the queue is very long, the persons or the peoples are standing in a queue of 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours or it may be 5 hours maybe. So after taking the form they are filling, then provide the document, then again when deposit another counter is there, deposit is another counter, receive the form is another counter. So, depositing again you stand in a queue for 1 or 2 or 3 hours. So, again when you get the certificate after 1 month or 2 months you come to again that office, then collect the certificate, again you stand in a queue and collect your certificate. If there is any mistake, again you apply again or correction, change it, go to the then you correct, there is a different format are there. If there is some spelling mistake, then you correct it and do the court and do some affidavits, like there are so many procedures are there. So, that means my thing is it will take more time, and again you come to the long distance. Suppose the people who belongs to a village, they come to let it be suppose in my case I am saying that my village is 20 kilometers from Bhubaneswar. So, I am coming from 20 kilometers to Bhubaneswar to apply for the bar certificate and that is standing in a queue number of times. Obviously, the costly, it will more costly as well as, why it is costly, because I am coming from 20 kilometers distance, long distance through bus or through bike. Okay. So, again go to that particular, because the bus communication is not connected to that particular office, again you hire a taxi or auto, go to that particular office, then at that place, if you are not possible to stand in a queue, there is so many dalals are there, you go to them and give them 100 or 200, 300 rupees, then he or she told will give you the certificate easily. So, you take form from us, so give us 400 or 500 rupees, like that. So, different corruptions also are there in between this. So, obviously, it will take more time to get the certificate, and another concept is, so obviously, you will pay more monies for that. It is costlier, as I am talking about economical point of view, economically it will take. But nowadays, you are not going to that particular office, you sit in your home, from your computer or your mobile phones directly you apply for your certificate by providing a documents. Okay. Immediately you can register for your certificate or apply for your certificate sitting at your home. Okay. So, this is possible. So, if you they immediately told you in a particular date, you come, your certificate is ready, you come and take your certificate. So, very little time, within 5 or 10 days it will take, or 2 or 3 days you will get the certificate, and registration is very quick, you can register quickly within 1 or 2 hours within sitting in your room. So, cost will be less, immediately you can apply. So, 1 or 2 hours maybe, or it will hardly take 15 minutes if you are acquainted with the computers. So, obviously, so nowadays it is very faster and the service will be very faster and quick. So, it will take less time. One thing is, what benefit the citizen will get? The time will be take less time to get the service. Another is, obviously it is economical one. So, in the cost of, I am talking about the cost. So, less cost will be expenditure for that. The next point is the strengthen the relationship between government and citizen using the technology. Obviously, so obviously the technology will be create the communication between the government and the citizens. ICT can help build trust by enabling the citizen and engagement in the policy process, promoting open and accounting government, helping the prevent corruption. As I told, the corruption will be obviously it is checked, because as I told, when you go to the before 20 years back, if you go to receive or apply for the birth certificate, if you are unable to stand in a queue, you give 200 or 300, 500 rupees to the persons, that is called your dalals. That is it is not a proper way, that is called your corruption. Corruption means, so corruption must be checked nowadays, because you are not paying some extra monies to third parties or third persons. Okay, the third person will carry out your job. So, for that reason, in manual system you are providing some monies to that person. So, it is not a wise thing, it is a corruption. So, nowadays the corruption must be checked by using the ICT or information communication technology concepts. So, the technology is advanced nowadays. Sitting at our room, we can communicate each and every office and we can do everything. So, another very simple example, suppose I will say, think about 20 years back. So, there is no e-admission is there, electronic admission, so simple manual admission. Suppose a particular student after completion of 10th exam, he wants to apply for 5 colleges. Each and every college he go to that particular college. Suppose I am applying for BJP college, I am coming from my village to BJP college. Then I am take a form, sitting at the counter and standing in a queue, take the forms and going to home, then fill it, then again stand in a queue and deposit the form. Then suppose I want to apply in Ravenshaw college, then again I go to the Cuttack and go to the Ravenshaw college, then stand in a queue, take the form from the counter, then fill it, then again stand in a queue and deposit it. Again suppose I want to apply in another college, go to that location, apply in Berhampur, go to Berhampur, apply in one college in Baleshwar, go to Baleshwar, that location I want to go, then take the form and fill it. So, this is the manual system. So, it will take long time, the time consumption will be more and will be obviously costly, and there may be a corruption may be there. If it is not possible to take a form, so through third person I will do this job. So, nowadays it is very easy. So, e-admission is there electronically, sitting at your home. If you are having computer or mobile phones and internet connectivity, easily you can apply within half an hour. So, no need to go to BJP college, Ravenshaw college, FM college or Calicut college. In a single form you can apply for 5 colleges at a time. So, you give the options which college is preference, first preference, second preference, third preference, fourth preference, like that. So, that obviously the time will be safe, the corruption will be safe, and obviously the cost it will less costlier as compared to the previous one. So, this is about the benefit of citizen, how the citizen will get benefit from the government. The next concept is, what are the websites? Is there any website, e-governance website? So many government websites are there. From there we get the service. Okay. So, one website is suppose I will say www.nic.in. NIC is one of the e-governance websites. National Information Center, www.nic.in. Okay. So, NIC means National Information Center. National Information Center. National Information Center. Why it is in? In means India. In means India. Okay, suppose you write US means US. So, according to the country, so different domains are there. If you write any address, there must be some domains. So, it is a country domain. Country domain means the country domain is in means India. So, NIC National Information Center, it is of which domain? It is a India domain, because it is written .in, in means India, www means World Wide Web. So, this is the general format. So, this is one of the that is what you say, that is websites. I am talking about websites. www.nic.in. What information you are getting from NIC? So, various information. So, that is, it is a, we get the government departmental get the information national wise, state wise and district levels. So, it is a national informatics center. is the premium web technology organization of India, and it is a government, Indian Union government organization. Okay, it is not a state government organization. NIC is a central government. It is a central government organization, and it is a web technology organization. So it will provide service to government maybe. Suppose one organization, government organization wants to develop the website of that particular department maybe. Okay. Suppose SCST RTI wants to develop the website of that particular department, maybe APMC cell, Academic Performance Monitoring Cell software wants to develop. So who will develop? Because SCST RTI, Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Research and Training Institute, is a government, state government organization. So what is the requirement? So SCST RTI, Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Research and Training Institute. It is in Bhubaneswar. So one of the department, there are so many sections are there. One section is APMC, Academic Performance Monitoring Cell. So suppose SCST RTI wants to develop the software of APMC, the detailed operation of APMC, how the operation of APMC perform through electronically. So make a software for that APMC cell. Detailed student monitoring cell, student monitoring, faculty training monitoring, detailed exam monitoring, everything, hostel monitoring, everything about the SCST APMC cell that will monitor detail about this of the Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe schools. Both that it will monitor what? All the EMRS and HHS, higher secondary schools. Okay. So what details about the students, student monitoring, employee monitoring, exam monitoring, everything. Similarly, here both student, detail about student, hostel monitoring, hostel, employee, exam, hostel. So everything will be monitored. So both EMRS and HHS, every the work of the student, employee, exam, hostels, so that will control by APMC. So you make design, the SCST want to develop a software. The SCST, Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Research and Training Institute, want to develop a software to build for APMC cell. So the APMC cell, Academic Performance Monitoring Cell, will monitor the activities of all the activities of Eklavya Model Schools and higher secondary schools, that is under SCST Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Research and Training Institute, under this department, SCST departments. So obviously the Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Research and Training Institute will contact whom it will contact, because it is a government organization or it is a state government organization. It will contact to the state government organization, that is it will contact to NIC. So SCST RTI, what is your requirement? APMC cell software want to develop the software for APMC cell. So the SCST will contact to the NIC of Bhubaneswar, because this is in Bhubaneswar. So for the government organization which is present in Bhubaneswar, the nearest is, that is your NIC, which is present in Bhubaneswar. Okay. So they will contact to the personnel who is present in Bhubaneswar. So what is their requirement? The SCST will provide to the personnel who is present in NIC. NIC will check it, what is the requirement of that SCST. So then it will check and develop the software for that particular organization. Okay. So this is the case. That means here SCST RTI is the client, and this is the, you can say NIC is a provider, service provider. So NIC will provide the service. okay, to this particular organization. So, that is the thing. So, there are the different process between how to develop, that is I am not talking about that, how to develop the software, what are the process, what are the stages. So, there are various stages how to develop the software, what is the time bound, what is the cost, that is the separate thing. But the concept is, if one government organization wants to develop the software for a particular department, then he or she will contact to NIC, the NIC will develop the software for that particular sections. Similarly, suppose the Utkal University is one of the government organization, the Utkal University want to develop the sites, the NIC will handle everything, the total website will be controlled or handled by NIC. So, most of the government organization, their web pages or web pages are controlled by or handled by the NIC, National Information Center, or under the controlling authority of the NIC. The another is there are so many websites are there, government organization there, we get benefit from there, easily get benefits easily within a fraction of time, no need to go outside, sitting in our room, we go to that particular site and apply for that, get the service. So, another is your Indian Railway gov.in, Indian Railway, www.indianrailway, Indian Railway, okay, Indian Railway, Indian Rail, not Railway, rail.gov.in, Indian Rail.gov.in. This is also one of the websites. It will give, it is a official sites or government official site for detailed information about the train, train fares, availability of the train detail, it will provide the information to citizens. So, it will provide what type of information? Indian Rail information, railway information. It will provide railway information. What is the railway information? Availability of the train, what is the fare. So, train information, it will give the train information, fare, what is the fare of the train, okay. Availability, so detailed information about the trains, availability, whether the train is available, available of the train, timing of the train. So, detail about the trains, it will give the information about details about the train. So, suppose I want to get any information about the train, PNR status about your, you check by providing your PNR number, you can check what is the status of your booking status also you can check, whether it is a confirmation or not confirm, that you can sitting information you can also you can check by using go to the Indian Railway government site and you can check detailed information about the trains and your seat information or fare information or availability of the train. Similarly, other websites also there, another is ssc.nic.in, www.ssc Staff Selection Commission, SSC Staff Selection Commission.nic.in. So, this is also one of the websites. So, Staff Selection Commission, what is the basic job is to job recruitment, okay. So, recruitment to non-technical groups, C, Group B and non-gazetted post in Ministry, Department of Government of India, CAG, Office of the Accountant General. So, different jobs. Staff Selection Commission, so SSC means Staff Selection Commission. Staff Selection Commission. So many exams are there conducted by the Staff Selection Commission for the recruitment purposes. So, most of the exams we are appearing that is coming under SSC. So, this is also one of the organization or government organization provide the e-service to the citizen of the India. The people will apply or apply for different posts, and that will be controlled by Staff Selection Commission. Okay, so everything, how the form will be received, how the admit card will be generated, how the center will be allotted, how the seat will be allotted, how it will be evaluated, how the result will be published, everything. So, how a particular student is selected, selection process, then how the appointment letter will be issued to that particular citizen. So, everything will be performed by Staff Selection Commission for that particular exam. So, there are so many exams are coming under SSC, Staff Selection Commission. So, through Staff Selection Commission we receive or recruit for a particular job. Another like your SSC, another is your Union Public Service Commission is also there, UPSC. UPSC also conducted some of the exams, upsc.gov.in, www.upsc.gov.in. UPSC means Union Public Service Commission. So, this is also one of the sites or e-governance sites or government sites, www.upsc.gov.in. UPSC means what? Union Public Service Commission. So many other exams like your suppose IAS, IPS, so many other exams are suppose a lectureship exam. So, most of the top exams are conducted by UPSC also, Union Public Service Commission. So, it is also one of the government sites or Indian site, government sites will provide or it will publish some advertisement for the recruitment purposes. So, SCSC will conduct some exams and UPSC also conduct some exams. So, that is a recruitment process. So, both will be used for the recruitment process. So, UPSC conduct the recruitment process and Staff Selection Commission is also used for the recruitment purposes. It will provide the service for the recruitment or job purposes. Okay. So, similarly, the next is another sites may be incometaxofindia.gov.in, income tax, www.incometaxindia.gov.in, india.gov.in. Okay. So, income tax what? The income tax basic job is it will collect the tax, government tax, different tax are there. Okay. So, tax law, tax rules, tax regulation, tax return, everything will be controlled by income tax department. Okay. There is some range income, according to your income you give the tax to the government. Suppose my income is in annually is more than, let it be, there is some range is given provided by the government. If my salary or in my income is more than, let it be 5 lakh, then I will give some amount maybe. There is some rules are there within that range. Okay. Let it be up to 3 lakh there is no income tax. If more than 3 lakh to 5 lakh you give 10% or 5%. Then more than suppose 5 lakh to 6 lakh you give 10%, like that. Different percentages are there. How much percent you will pay, there is different rules or regulations are there. So, that means you provide your tax to the government for your income. Okay. So, tax different rules and regulations are there. So, this department will provide detailed information about the tax laws, what are the rules and regulations, notification, tax returns, how to file, how to download the forms, how to fill the forms, everything. So, that facility will be provided by the income tax department related to income. You provide the tax for your income. Similarly, so many other sites, suppose I am saying that rbi.org.in, Reserve Bank of India, www.rbi.org. Suppose I am talking about banking system. So, www.rbi.gov.in, Reserve Bank of India, rbi.org.in. It is an organization. So, the site name is rbi.org, Reserve Bank, org.in. So, RBI means Reserve Bank of India. So, it will the controlling of all the banks. Okay, it is a monetary authority, monetary control, regulation and supervisor of financial system. Total finance will be controlled by RBI. Any monetary transaction or monetary authority, regulations, supervision of financial statements, manager of exchange controls, issue of national currency. So, that operation will be performed by Reserve Bank of India. Total monetary control will be, because it is a bank of all the banks. So, all the banks is under the control of RBI. So, every bank must obey the rules and regulation of the RBI. So, it is one of the e-governance sites. It will provide the service to different banks, what will do, what will not do. Total monetary control will be performed by RBI. Okay. Similarly, other sites are also available. So, it is not possible to cover. So, here I am giving some examples for your understanding purposes. So many other sites are there. So, nowadays so many e-governance sites are there. You can use the sites and get benefit, and you can sitting at your room by using your mobile phones or by using your computer. If there is a internet connectivity, easily you can get the service quickly without any delay, very less amount of times. So, this is about different websites. So many websites are available for different purposes, like your e-admission process, every government organization, higher secondary education or plus 2 council, there is a e-admission process. This is also one of the service provided by the government for easier admission process. Okay. So, there is so many sites are there through electronically. I am talking about, suppose you go to a particular LIC of India is also LIC provide the insurance, other companies also provide the insurance. So, nowadays you can easily you can sit your room, easily you can deposit your insurance premium at your room through online. Okay. And download a form easily, surrender form or any form you can download. So, easily everything is available freely. So, that is you can easily download a forms, deposit your premium sitting at your room. Okay, no need to go to the particular that is location. Okay, sitting at your room through mobile phones or through computers. If you are having internet connectivity, easily you can deposit your amount and check the status of your insurance. Okay, what is the current value of your insurance or policy? If you surrender, what amount you will get? If you apply for the loan, how much amount will get by you? Okay, detailed information about your policy you can check sitting at your room easily. So many insurance sites are there. LIC of India, like your ICICIprudential.com. So many private companies are there. Kotak Lifeinsurance.com. So many others are there. So you check your policies sitting at your room easily. So there are so many services provided by the government to the citizen of India. So many websites are there. So easily you can handle it. But the thing is, another concept is there is a social challenge. That means not every person is that is a literate person. Okay. So social impact of this. Social impact. what is the social impact of e-governance in our society? The first impact is a increased transparency. The first impact is transparency, increase transparency, increase. The increased transparency means everything is clear. Okay, so that is everything is clear. So that is you don't confuse anything. So everything is clear to you. So there is so many rules and regulations are there. You go through the rules and regulations, and everything is clear for you. Okay. So few government have explicitly stated transparency is a goal. Some transparency gains have been achieved through e-applications. So that means everything is clear for you. So going through a particular site, so or using anything, everything is clearly mentioned, everything is transparent. So there is no problem for you. You look, everything is clearly. So there is one thing. So everything is transparent means clear, and it will increase the efficiency and effective service. Obviously the service will be very faster. The second is increase efficiency. The e-governance will increase efficiency. It will increase efficiency and the effectiveness of delivery service, and effectiveness of service delivery. Service delivery. Okay. So that means the delivery of service will be very faster. Within our room, with sitting our room, I am applying for online shopping. So within a fraction of time, my order is booked. I am getting the confirmation. Your order is booked. It will deliver 1 or 2 days. So after 2 or 3 days or 5 days, I will get my that is my goods what I am applying for. So without going to that particular locations. Okay. So everything is in our doorstep. So the service will be effective. It is very faster, and it is less time. It will take less time. Also, you can compare your price with others, and you look which is a better one, and you can choose. And also that is various products are there. You compare all the products, and also it is a 24-hour service. That means in a manual system, the office is open from a particular time to a particular time. Suppose I am going to a particular birth certificate office, it will open from 10 to 5. So, but nowadays, if it is a electronic system, it is a 24-hour service, 24 into 7. So, in your home at 1 p.m. night also, or there is no barrier for you at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. or 4 a.m. That is any time you can, there is no time bound for you. At any time, 24 hours, you can take the facilities or the service from the e-government sites. So it is a 24-hour service. That I am saying it is a 24-hour service. Okay. So everything you get the service. So obviously it is a efficient one as compared to previous one, and service delivery will be faster, or it will increase the faster service. The faster processing, shorter wait and shorter queues, less number of cost will be consumed compared to previous one, corruption will be reduced, more efficiency, more transparency, and it is a 24 into 7. Okay. So in a week there are 7 days, and every day having 24 hours, 24 into 7 service. Okay. So there is not time fixed for you. So you will get service into 24 hours. And next point is, obviously the corruption will be reduced, by using e-governance service. You can reduce the corruption, as I told how you can control the corruptions. So if I will give one example, that is, it will be very clear. Suppose country is India. Country is our country. Suppose now our country is India. I am talking about our country. So type of application, suppose I will write type of application. What application? Valuation of property. Valuation of property. Okay. So valuation of property. Number of days to process. Number of days to process. Number of days to process before application. Then number of days process after application. Number of days to process after application. After apply, how many days it will take, and before apply, how much time it will take. So in India, evaluation of property. Evaluation of property means, suppose what is the value of your property. If you want to purchase or sell a property or land, then what is your valuation? What is the current value of your land? You want to check. Okay. So here it is before application, after application means what? So this is about e-governance service. It is not e-governance. So before e-governance, I am saying that this application means it is a e-governance. Before e-governance, what will happen? So after application means if it is a e-governance, not e-governance. That means it is a manual system. It is a manual system. It is a computerized system. Okay. So, or it is a online system. It is a offline system. So it is offline. You can say offline. It is a online. So valuation of your property. If you check, want to know, you go to a particular Tahsil office, go to a particular person. If the person is not present, you go to your home. Then after 1 or 2 days, you go to the office. Then go to that particular person, contact them, and ask about for the valuation certificate. The person will take some amount and tell you give this document, you deposit the document, then pay some amount, extra amount maybe. Then after 5 or 10 days, you come and take the certificate from the office. So it will take few days. Minimum, it will take valuation will take minimum 10 days. In a manual system, without in computers, you go to a office directly, go to a particular person. If that person is in leave, you wait for some days. Then after some days, you come to that office, contact to that particular person, fill the form, provide the document. Then the person will tell you go. After 10 days, you come. Then I will give the certificate. So minimum 10 to 15 days it will take. So if it is a computerized system, so it is an online system. So if you are using computer or mobile phones through internet, immediately you go to the that particular site and check the status of your value of your land within the 5 minutes. It will take 5 minutes. Hardly 5 minutes it will take to process. So we look in a manual system, it will take 10 days. But if it is an online system or e-governance system, it will take 5 minutes. Suppose land registration. If you do the land registration, you purchase a land, you make registration of your land. In manual system, it will take 10 to 15 days manually. If it is a computerized system, it will take 2 to 3 hours, maximum 3 hours. Within 3 hours, it will complete. Similarly, suppose filing tax, file tax, filing tax before electronic system or e-governance system or online system, it will take 2 to 3 days manually. Go to income tax office and stand in a queue, take a form, fill it, provide the requisite document, deposit the amount, and it will take minimum 2 to 3 days. But nowadays you can file your income tax within 1 hours. Maximum 1 hours you will complete and file your tax. So you look, this is better. Obviously it will take less time as compared to this one, and the service is very faster, and there is no corruption. Here there is a chances of corruption. So corruption will be minimized in this case. Okay, से stop कर दो ना, गोटे stop करो, end.